Hey UFD Tech family, we're making this video because Rare Disease Day is coming up on the 28th of February, and our rare disease warrior is doing better than when we left South Africa, but not amazing in the seizure department. And so we want to give you a little information about where he's at and some things that our family is going to be up to the next few months.
So we actually have some pretty great opportunities coming up for our son over the next few months where we're actually going to be able to go do some intensive modern therapies at different centers around Florida that should potentially help get him over some of the plateaus that he's been having in things like his physical development. But it's also going to lead to a lot of chaos because we're going to have to be living out of Airbnbs for 6 straight weeks, and that's
while we work and homeschool our older children.
Exactly.
And take them into therapy.
Yes. So life is going to be really, really hard and stressful for us, specifically because we're going to have to relocate to Airbnbs over the next few months. And so we created a new merch line in order to have you guys support us during that time. Number one, we have this rare disease ribbon that we're wearing in a more tech-oriented style so that it's fun. This would specifically, if we saw you out on the street, let us know that you support rare disease. But then also we have a few other more techie shirts like the Press F to pay respects. We have redesigned those and reimagined those in a few ways. So big thanks to Jason for doing that. So if you could potentially pick up one of these shirts or continue to watch our videos, it would mean a lot as we're going to be just in a completely huge state of disarray. We're not going to have our support structure for quite some time because we're going to be living away from everything we have here at home, and that's going to make it a challenge, but one that we're definitely going to try to meet. It's just going to be really uncertain as to what level of work we're going to be able to do, what type of free time we're going to have to actually be able to get everything done that we need to. So we just wanted to create this merch line as a way of asking that you guys would support us through these next few months that are going to be quite difficult. But also, as we mentioned, Rare Disease Day is coming up, and so that has us reflecting a lot about Emmett's specific condition. And actually, the SYNGAP Research Fund is releasing a video about the oldest known SYNGAPian and her story. And so we'll leave a link in the video description for you guys to check that out, just so you get a general understanding of the life that our son has ahead of him. And the unfortunate truth is that what we've noticed and in our year and a half that we've been back here in America is that he is not responding well to the normal course of treatments that typically are issued for his epilepsy and everything else. We have had him on 8 different anti-epileptic medications that include CBD. We have tried the keto diet, and neither of them had much efficacy to the point where his seizures have stopped. And I know a lot of people like to comment about those. We've tried them. We have tried everything, and we are working with multiple different specialists. And the unfortunate truth is that he appears to be a very severe case of his epilepsy, and that's made life really stressful and difficult.
So we've kind of been stuck in this endless loop with Emmett for the last 2 years since we started treating his epilepsy. And the unfortunate common factor with all medications is that he tends to do well on them for 2 to 3 weeks before the seizures overcome whatever effect that medication is having, and then they start to get worse, and then we have to either change medications or increase the dose that he's on, and then he gets really tired and lethargic and loses skills for several weeks before his seizures become under better control, and then he does well for a few weeks, and then the cycle continues. So he's just incredibly medication resistant. And so, even if he's on 5 meds at a time, and we've tried, like Brett said, different medications, we just haven't really come to a combination of things that has kept him well for more than a few weeks at a time.
And he's still having hundreds of seizures per day.
Yeah. So we're definitely in a better spot than we were this time last year, but it's still incredibly frustrating because after 2 years of trying, we haven't really found a solution to his seizures that really works for us. So we have a few other things in mind. One of them would be considering different surgeries that he might be a candidate for. We could retry the keto diet now that he has a G-tube. But all of these options really suck.
So really what we also want to put out to you guys is that Emmett needs to get cured. He needs a genetic therapy in order for his life to actually be in a place where he can live a functional life. And the truth is, we are on the cusp technologically as a society where this is a thing that could potentially happen. If our son had been diagnosed 10 years ago, we wouldn't have even thought that this could be something we could fight for. But right now...
And access in his lifetime, like he was born at the right time in history.
Yeah, and so we're really excited that SYNGAP Research Fund is working so hard to get all of these treatments available and funded and just worked on. And so we just want to heavily ask that you guys consider supporting SYNGAP Research Fund as well, because the truth is our son's only chance is technological breakthroughs in genetic therapy.
And the really cool thing is, even though we don't have a genetic therapy for SYNGAP, there are other diseases that are really similar to SYNGAP that do have these kind of treatments going on in clinical trials right now, and the results have actually been quite astounding. So we're super hopeful and encouraged by that, because it means that this is actually, like, it's not just a dream, like this could be a reality for our child and so many other children with the funding. And thankfully we have a foundation, SYNGAP Research Fund, that is just doing everything that they possibly can to make this happen.
Yeah, and so we actually are going to have another charity live stream coming up that's going to go towards funding a study that can just continue to move the ball forward on potentially getting our son hopefully cured. And it's going to be our largest event yet. We're partnering with some major names, and we can't give you too many details right now because it's not, everything's not, the T's are not dotted and the I's are not crossed. So we gotta,
we're super excited.
It's gonna be huge. And so I just kind of want to make this video as, if you can, just consider putting aside some money right now until our next charity event, because your money can go towards literally giving not only our son an actual real life that he can live independently, but as these technological breakthroughs are happening, it can change the lives of so many other genetic diseases that are out there.
SYNGAP is learning from other diseases that have already kind of gone through this pipeline of creating these technologies. And each time that a different disease develops a therapy, it gets easier for the other rare diseases that are still out there needing this for their kids too.
Yeah. So there's a bright future, but it's also, as we've mentioned, been a really, really hard journey to even get to this point. Seeing our son revert skills dozens and dozens of times, we always wonder, is this going to be the last time he's going to be walking? Is this going to be the last time where he's going to be vocalizing? Because the meds do take a severe impact on him. And also, we're coming up to the limitations of living in the state of Florida and the medical system that we have here. And we are considering moving because we don't have access to everything that we need. And the state legislature is not there to support families with rare diseases where other states are.
We've kind of come to the realization over the last year and a half here that at the very least we need to move out of our smaller town to maybe more of a major city. We might be able to get services more consistently and have access to doctors instead of like driving hours every month to different cities to go see them. And maybe we need to move to a state that has a little more progressive
care policies.
Policies for families that are dealing with these kind of challenges.
I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that there's been fewer videos here on UFD Tech, and part of that is been the just private struggles that we've been going on with as a family, trying to deal with Emmett's disease. And losing Reese and Catlin last year was a huge blow to the channel. Them not being here with us anymore means that I can't constantly back and forth ideas with them, and it's just a completely new workflow that we've had to develop. And it's just been a real challenge for us to work through. Where's the future of the channel go from here, now that everything's just kind of been demolished. That's like, it feels like we've imploded because of everything that's happened. We're no longer the team of 7 we were back in South Africa. Now we're no longer even a team here in America. And it's leading to a lot of reflection and trying to decide what the best path forward is. And we're working on that. But the truth is, we also need stability in order to make that happen. It's very difficult for me to plan what videos am I going to make when we have to live in a different city in an Airbnb with no support structure in the next couple of months. And then also planning to move makes it more challenging. And so I've been really working and spending a lot of time reflecting, how can I best run this YouTube channel? And I have a lot of ideas that we're going to be executing over the next few months. And so it would mean a lot if you guys could watch the videos and share them, because it's taken a lot for us to even get to this point, a lot of tearing down a lot of what existed in order for us to come out of this like a phoenix. That's the hope. And that's to say nothing of the struggle that my wife goes through trying to coordinate Emmett's care, working with health insurance all of the time, talking to the doctors, and just negotiating everything. It's been really tough. But we're hopeful for the future. We live in a time where technologically we have the possibility that our son can be cured. So we're excited for the future. It's going to be very difficult over the next few months, but we are working through it, and we ask that if you guys could please support our merch. Also go watch the documentary that's been put out of the oldest living Sengapian, and then also get ready for our biggest charity stream ever, because it's going to be a big deal. All right, as long as it all comes together, which we're this close to being able to fully declare it, it's going to be a great experience. So thank you guys so much for supporting us over the years. It would have been impossible for us to get to this point without your help. And so just thank you for bearing with us, and I'm excited for what's coming next. In case you want to find out more about Emmett's rare disease, you can watch the original videos that we made about it right over here at our first diagnosis, and then also the challenges we had when we had to leave South Africa. And if you could get subscribed to UFD Tech, we'd appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video, friends. Cheers.